I get those goosebumps every time. I need the Heimlich, throw that to the side. I get those goosebumps every time, yeah. When you...
Greetings, technicians. This is Admin Crow here, your coach of the Toronto Star Raptors, bringing you the Teambuilder for another week in the PCL, the Pokemon Champions League. This is Season 3, Week 6, and we are going to be taking on the Kasas City Kingdras, coached by Clutchsometimes, aka Clutch. So me and Clutch have this very interesting battle history from both last season of PCL and the off season of TDL Tier 3 and below. Fun fact, I have actually never beaten Clutch in my past battles. He always have this matchup versus me. He always managed to clutch on top, or should I say. The first battle I lost him, it was a close 1-0, and the second one was a 2-0. The third one, fun fact, it was a 3-0. So my goal for this week is to avoid a 4-0. So yeah, just try to put the meme to its end, right? So yeah, his entire roster and all his members on his team should appear to your right momentarily. So in this video, I'm just gonna be going over the sets I'm bringing this week and hopefully pick up a W again and be able to maintain that first place spot, I believe, which is I guess the Raptors currently have within our division. So up first we have Nova the Nihilego, which is actually a mon that Clutch loves using. It was on his roster from last season of PCL, packing the Focus Sash for the first time. And I'm pretty sure out of all the games I brought Nihilego so far, I brought all different items. I brought Choice Spec, Choice Scarf, Expert Belt, and Life Orb. So I believe this is the 5th time I'm bringing Nihilego, and this time I am going to be bringing a Focus Sash variant with the ability Beast Boost, of course. Don't forget to make it shiny. And packing the moves Toxic Spikes, Hidden Power Ice, Power Gem, and Sludge Wave. The combination of Power Gem, Sludge Wave, and Hidden Power Ice destroys his entire roster. So Clutch's roster is very offensive, just like mine, but he has a little bit more bulk than mine. So it's a very interesting matchup. He doesn't have a lot of switch-ins to all of my mons, and I don't have a lot of switch-ins, just like every single other week. So yeah, let's just jump into the EV spreads here. Just max special attack and almost max speed. You're gonna see a lot of max or almost max in my build this week. It's not because I'm being lazy, but it's just because how the speed tier works out. As you can see, he has Garchomp on his roster, which has a base speed of 102. This basically the EV spreads that I need to ensure myself to outspeed his Garchomp, and I also believe Garchomp is his only stealth rocker on his team. So if he wants to bring those sneaky pebbles against my Volcarona, Garchomp will most likely be his lead of choice. And just to break the fourth wall, the match has already been played at this point, so you're gonna see some interesting, I guess, abilities and sets that I brought that I didn't mean to bring, simply because I forgot to change them from my mock with Lo-Fi this week. Anyways, so the idea behind this set is that my 3 attacks obviously are my option of offenses against his team, like I mentioned before. T-Spikes because he doesn't have a poison type on his team, and he has 2 rapid spinners and no defoggers, but I guess I was told just now that Cragano actually have defog, but I didn't prepare for it simply because I wasn't aware of it the time that I made this team. But I was told after the game that Cragano does have access to defog, but then again, rapid spin is usually the better option anyways. So anyways, if he does bring the Cragano, he's gonna be able to potentially rapid spin away or defog away the T-Spikes without getting poisoned because he is levitating. But aside from that, Toxic Spike is very good against his team overall. Like I mentioned before, he doesn't have a poison type to absorb them, so my idea is to basically set up T-Spikes always against them turn 1 with my Focus Sash. If he's a lead Garchomp, he could be Choice Scarfed. That's why I do have that Focus Sash for it. And not only I can take a EQ and potentially find out if he's a Scarf Chomp with rocks or something. so that's really good there. And obviously, if he's not scarfed, I can just follow up with Hidden Power Ice after I set up the T-Spikes. So yeah, that's basically the idea behind the set. Up next, we have Windhao Jr. the Gligar, packing the Eviolite with the ability Hyper Cutter, despite the fact that he doesn't have an Intimidator. Well, I guess he has Arcanine on his team, so I guess this could come in pretty clutch. Yes, I was meant to have immunity over Hyper Cutter. I just forgot to change it from a mock. So yeah, I have Hyper Cutter now. You're gonna see some Hyper Cutter action in the actual game. Hopefully that doesn't come back to bite me. Anyways, the movesets are Stealth Rock, U-Turn, Roost, and Defog. I was pretty positive that he's gonna bring Arcanine against me simply because it checks Volcarona relatively well, and he also gets access to Flash Fire, so that will be a hard check to Volcarona. There's literally nothing Volcarona can do back to it, but you guys will see in a little bit what I have for it. And the sets are just Stealth Rock, U-Turn, Roost, and Defog, both Rocks and Defog on the same set. Initially, I had Rocks on Gligar, simply because, like I mentioned before, the way the method he have for hazard control is pretty limited. So I want to try to abuse that if I can. I have T-Spikes now, I have Rocks, and you guys will see I'm bringing Webs this week as well. So U-Turn for momentum, Roost for recovery, Defog for my own hazard control in case he does set up those Stealth Rock with his Garchomp against my Volcarona. So Stealth Rock, oh wait, I don't have Earthquake on this set, so I have no way to touch the Arcanine at all. So yeah, I'll probably just have to U-turn out against anything. So this Gligar's role this week is basically just come in, take a hit, and pivot out into my offenses. It's pretty much hyper offense with Gligar this week instead of keys. As you can see, I'm actually not bringing keys. Initially, I had a very cool keys set that can wall Garchomp, like basically wall Garchomp 100% of the time and do something back. But the fact that I had Defog on my keys in my mock, it actually didn't work out because Lo-Fi brought Serena. Defog doesn't work because I had the Prankster ability, which gave it priority, and it was blocked by Queen's Majesty, which is Serena's ability. So I was literally blown away by that. That's why. Sorry about that sound in the background. I think the neighbor's working on something on the wall. Anyways, hope you guys don't hear it. So up next we do. Oh wait, the EV spreads are just max HP and a lot of SPDEF to help me take a potential Hidden Power Ice from the Raikou because it's such a huge threat against my team. It outspeeds the majority of my roster, barring I believe it is the Pyrolet form from Meloetta, which you can see that I'm not bringing this week. That's why I have a lot of stuff here and a little bit of defense here in case I have to take a physical hit from. I take a hit from the physical side. Anyways, so up next we do have Charlotte the Galvantula. The nicknames I got Brandon's permission. I made a trade with him 2 weeks ago, I believe, and I picked up Galvantula in exchange of my Jolteon, and it's packing Life Orb this week with the ability Compound Ice, bringing the Sticky Web Thunder to abuse his rain potentially, but with the Compound Ice I do have 91% chance to land the Thunder outside of rain anyways. And Bug Buzz for my dual stab and Volt Switch for momentum. As you can see, I don't have Hidden Power Ice on this set simply because I already have Hidden Power Ice on the Nihilego, and Bug Buzz does a huge chunk to Garchomp anyway, so if I want to make that prediction. And plus, if I am running Hidden Power Ice, I don't have a good way to touch the Serena. So I really want to. I really don't want to lose to his spinners after I get up my hazards. So this set is pretty straightforward and just a max special attack with a timid nature to outrun. I believe the speed tier is for Garchomp, the same speed base stat 334 as Nihilego. That's what I set my speed tier for, and I just put the rest in HP. And so yeah, this set I brought Sticky Web simply because it's there to counteract his rain. I know Kingras is still gonna outspeed a lot of my mons under the rain anyways, but it doesn't necessarily outspeed if I am at +1, say with Volcarona after a Quiver Dance, or if I'm a speedy Volcarona, that is, or some of my other mons, or like a Choice Scarf Nihilego, which I'm not bringing this week. But basically just there for niche speed controls, or I guess outside of rain, to make my some of my mons outspeed the Kingdra outside of rain. It doesn't have too much meaning if he is outside of rain, like my mons outspeed the Kingdra anyways. If it's within the ring, I'm not gonna be able to outrun it. So I guess in that regard, it's gonna be mainly for the Garchomp and the Choice Scarf Garchomp, obviously, and the Raikou, primarily the Raikou, simply because alongside of Kingdra is such a huge threat. If he's a CM subset, just a combination of T-Bolt and Hidden Power Ice pretty much destroy my entire roster. So that's why I do have the Sticky Web for it. Like I mentioned before, his hazard control options are pretty limited. So up next we do have Volcarona. Like I mentioned before, it's a mon that Genesis the Volcarona, packing leftovers with ability Flame Body, and just a defensive set, QD sub, a Giga Drain, and Fire Blast. I was meant to have Flamethrower over Fire Blast here, but because I didn't really want to miss. But again, I forgot to change it after my mock. I had the thought in mind, but I literally just forgot to go back to it. So hopefully I didn't actually miss any Fire Blast in the actual battle, or else that would be bad, right? Right? Anyways, so this set is pretty straightforward as well. Just almost max HP with a lot of defense. Just be able to set up on his physical attackers. I know that Clutch will probably pack rock coverage on his Celesteela. If he does bring it, I expect it to be a physical set, whether that being a setup autonomize or a just defensive physical set, because it gets access to Rock Slide. It's one of the better moves. Myself did use Celesteela in a league format. That's why I know Celesteela pretty well, I would say. So, and it probably has Earthquake and Heavy Slam. Earthquake primarily for the Klefki, but yeah, it's gonna be more of a physical variant if he does bring it. So that's why I do have the defense here. I'm pretty sure it doesn't break my sub that well if he goes for EQ, so he pretty much have to rely on his Rock Slides, which has a potential chance to miss, like what happened a couple weeks back when I was playing against Gem, if I'm running a physical set. And also, it's just a better set overall against him this week. The speed tier here is 242, which allows me to outspeed the Raikou, which I believe is the fastest thing on his roster, having a base speed of 115 when I'm at +1, obviously. And the combination of Giga Drain and Fire Blast hits his entire roster as well. Giga Drain primarily for his Ring Sweepers, both the Toad and the Kingdra. And it helps out with my recovery as well. So one thing I do like to mention though, is in the mock, when I had the Volcarona against his Toad, I can't actually set up against it, simply because he gets access to Encore. It happened to me in my mock. Well, you guys will see if it actually happened in the battle or not. So yeah, this, and plus this thing also set up on his spinners. It beats both the Cryogonal and the Serena very well, especially Serena. It doesn't get like a physical rock move to be able to touch me, and obviously I quad resist the grass move and also resist high jump kick as well. So if he wants to get rid of hazard by going for a rapid spin, I can take advantage of it by going for either a substitute or a quiver dance in front of both of his spinners. So up next we do have Nero, the Tyranitar, packing the Choice Scarf with the ability Sandstream. I need to bring the sand this week in case he brings the rain. It's not guaranteed for him to bring the rain, but if he does bring rain any time of this season, I think this would be a good week to bring against one of his opponent, which will be me, who has a sand core. So I need to be able to change the weather to get rid of the Swift Swim from the Kingdra, so I don't get wrecked. Yeah, initially I had a Tyranitar, but it wasn't doing anything after the Kingdra setup. If I lose the Tyranitar early on, and I won't be able to change the weather, it will be pretty bad. So that's why I still decided to bring it anyways. Initially I had a Dragon Dancing set, but I find it difficult to stay in after he can just go into his Toad or his Kingdra after the rings already being set up. or just going to Toad and going to his Kingdra at some point, just be able to revenge kill me. Even at +2 with Dragon Dance, I won't be able to outspeed his Kingdra anyway, if he has a ring up, obviously. So it was pretty difficult for me to set up in many scenarios, and also the Raikou can have Aura Sphere if he's bringing a special event one for me. That's why I have this Scarf Tyranitar here to ensure myself to outspeed his Raikou. I do have a Jolly Nature with a lot of speed. This is actually exactly how much speed I need to outspeed the Raikou as well, even though it seems like a mindless 252 set. Anyways, I do have the Earthquake for the Raikou to be able to break the sub, and it also destroys the Raikou from full after either one layer of T-Spike damage or one Stealth Rock entry. I don't even need the Sand Chip in the end. Obviously, if he has some HP investment, he will be able to take the EQ and then take the Sand as well. So Crunch is actually such a good click against his team. I looked at it again. His Dark type doesn't resist Dark, and his Fairy type also doesn't resist Dark. The best thing he has for Tyranitar as a switching would be a Justify Arcanine, which is not too much of a switch in. If he does bring Arcanine, I would expect it to be a Flash Fire set over Intimidate even. So Justify would be the last option, and obviously I can have a Stone Edge for the Arcanine as well. And the fact that I'm Choice Scarf, I can not only take the extreme speed but also outspeed him, so I don't get hit up with close combat from the Arcanine. And Fire Punch, I don't really need it, simply because I just like a last ditch effort, or like a scenario where I predict him to go Celesteela on my T-Tar because he doesn't have a Dark Switch in. You know, I don't want to waste with Stone Edge. It's the same amount of damage on Celesteela anyways, but it guarantees the hit. But my primary click against him would be the Crunch, and maybe a potential surprise kill on the Raikou with the EQ, as I am Choice Scarf. So this is my only physical attacker on the team this week, so I really have to preserve it pretty well if he's bringing any sort of setup, Calm Mind or Calm Mind, Mega Gardevoir or Raikou. That's why the T-Spike in the initial turn is so important, simply because it will provide that chip if he's bringing a setup or a sub CM Gardevoir or Raikou against me. Even against the Arcanine, simply because it will be pressured a lot against the Volcarona as well. So for the last member here, we have Manaphy, the Mizuiko. Again, another member of Brandon's team. I'm bringing a 252 Manaphy again. So the reason behind this set, right? This time I'm running a modest set over a timid one, despite the fact that, similar to a Fury, Clutch also has a very threatening Mon, I guess a Mega as well, with a base speed of 100. Fury had the Mega Metacham, but this time I'm running modest instead of timid, simply because there's no way that he's gonna be running. There's no way that, I guess he might, but there's no way that he's gonna be running a timid Mega Gardevoir just for Manaphy, and it doesn't outspeed anything that it needs to outspeed anyways, because my Nihilego, my whatchamacallit, Charlotte, the Galvantula outspeeds it anyways, and for my Volcarona, because it doesn't get any speed boosting moves as Gardevoir, that's why after QD I outspeed it anyways, so there's no reason for him to run timid. So I would like to at least be able to speed tie with it by running a modest nature. And as you can see, I am packing a leftover with hydration this week to potentially abuse his rain. And packing the Calm Mind, Scald, Energy Ball, and Shadow Ball. This coverage, the 3 move coverage, also hits his entire roster. Shadow Ball is there for a set up Mega Gardevoir in case it gets out of hand, but the Energy Ball and Scald is gonna be my primary click, especially Scald for my stab, Energy Ball for his water resist, which will be his Serena, and well, obviously I'm not gonna click Energy Ball against Serena, but for his Toad, and his Kingdra as well. I'm not packing Ice Beam because I don't have the room for it. If I'm against Serena, I can just go for either. I can just go for a safe Shadow Ball, I guess, after CM. Or chances are I'll probably switch out, depends on the range he's at. Because I won't be able to beat it 1v1 anyways. Unless he has some initial damage on it. So yeah, that's going to be. Oh, and also the reason I have Energy, not only to take advantage of his ring offensively, but also gives me a switch into his Politoed and his Kingdra, especially the Kingdra. Again, it's so threatening against me. It swept me in my mock. So yeah, I think I covered most, if not everything, about the team, aside from the the fact that I forgot to change a move and the ability on Volcarona and Gligar respectively. Hopefully that doesn't come back to bite me in the actual game. So yeah, that's gonna be it from me this week. Hope you guys enjoyed, and see you guys in the match. This is gonna be Admin Crow here signing off. See you guys next time. Goodbye, technicians.